Okay, I think we can officially begin. Thank you, Stephanie, for all that you do to make this possible.
Hear, hear.
Yes, I want to officially welcome everyone who is on our session today. I am Devora Coriel, and I have the gift and the grace of being the director of the Integrative Medicine elective rotation at the Andrew Weil Center for Integrative Medicine. And many of our IMmersive presenters are presenters in the program that we run twice a year for a month for fourth-year medical students and medical residents as both an introduction to integrative medicine and to give these doctors an opportunity for 4 weeks to actually use the modalities that they will be offering, we hope, to their patients for the healing and well-being of patients, to use it for themselves. Because as many of you know, the training in medicine is grueling. Some people say it's brutal. It is indeed a powerful initiation. And we are so happy to be able to offer students, student physicians, an opportunity to benefit from these mind-body disciplines. So welcome, Donna. Donna Nakazawa represents a field in medicine that is becoming more and more powerful, and that is science journalism. And I was introduced to Donna just about 8 months ago, when she presented at the AWSIM annual conference, and she presented her work that is written in The Angel and the Assassin on microglial cells. And it just kind of blew my socks off. And so I raced to invite Donna to teach, and she did last week in the rotation and is now sharing another aspect of her work with us today. So welcome, Donna. Thank you for your gift and your time.
Thank you for having me. I've been looking forward to today, and I am going to share some slides as we go. Let me know if you can see in 1 second when I put it on presenter. Can you see what you should see?
Perfect.
Wonderful. All right, so I wanted to start by saying that for a long time, I've been presenting a much longer version of this workshop to individuals, parents, physicians, educators, Head Start workers, home healthcare visitors. And it really took off during the pandemic, as you can imagine. In the program, which has over 100 lessons, we combine a series of writing to heal exercises with some grounding and mindfulness exercises based on the latest neuroimmunology, which is what I report on, to help individuals engage in a process that I call neural re-narrating. The goal is pretty simple. It's to help individuals utilize the power of guided narrative writing to recognize their old painful thought patterns and begin to rewrite their inner story in ways that we know help give us resiliency, even when we face big adversity. The hope that I have here today is to help you create the conditions where, even if there has been an experience of chronic stressors or even adversity or trauma, that your brain can begin to rewire and settle into a new felt sense of well-being. So in the very brief time that we have today, we're just going to do a few sample exercises from my program. As Stephanie said, please grab a pencil and paper. You probably already have that. Again, we're just putting this up here. Obviously, you need to be 18 and read and agree that this is an appropriate set of exercises for you. So I want to begin by placing us in the context that we're in and talk about the wounded healer syndrome. A number of studies show us that individuals who come into the healing profession are more likely to have a history of early life adversity. And that means that you may be walking around helping others without even recognizing or taking time to explore your own story of chronic stress or adversity or trauma. So again, the invitation here is to explore some of those past experiences of adversity that you may not even recognize are trauma. See how they're affecting you now, and see some ways that we can begin to work with that connection. I think we can get so caught up, especially when you are a healing professional, in having grit and resilience and saving and helping others, that you may not even take much time to notice or address your own suffering, your own story, your own pain. So I see these exercises as a doorway into a deeper understanding of your story, and also why certain situations or people or even patients may have a bigger effect on you than you would like. And more importantly, these exercises are about regrounding yourself in the moment, even when really big and hard things happen, so they don't knock you over emotionally. And on a broader level, I think this work really provides a seed of understanding into the importance of narrative medicine in general and the importance of trauma-aware work. Okay, so should go without saying, but I just want to say, please, if you feel that any of these exercises are too much, take a break, stop, call a friend. We will be reflecting on old feelings that can be painful. So with that in mind, you might think of yourself as a scuba diver. You want to begin by diving 5 feet down, not 50 feet down. At the same time, participate as fully as you feel comfortable doing, and move through any initial resistance that you might feel. That might sound like, oh, this is really silly, or I don't have time for this, or I have so much paperwork on my desk. Just for these next 25 minutes, I'm asking you to bring a sense of heartfelt compassion to you. There's no right way to do these exercises. Just let all of your self-judgment go. So let's begin with your pencil that you have, and we're going to put the pencil to paper, and I'd like you to just go around in circles, just small circles on your paper. Just keep going around your pencil to paper and go around in circles. And as you do, I'd like you to ask yourself, what is it that brought you here? What are you hoping to gain by being here today? And just notice whatever comes up in your body, any emotions, any sense of uncertainty, not knowing what will be revealed. And know as we do this, that when we do it in a group setting, whether we're coming from Puerto Rico or Canada or Australia or Arizona or Maryland, we're all here for similar reasons. And you can pick up your pencil, and in a minute, I'm going to begin to guide you through 6 writing prompts. And these are prompts that have been carefully developed to help you take an emotional leap past your own sense of resistance, or maybe just not knowing where to begin with delving into and writing about your own story. We'll take up to a minute for each writing response. As we write, I'd like you to keep your hand moving. Write faster than you normally would. Just pretend you're taking dictation from your mind. Don't think too much about it. Let thoughts stream onto the page. We're not writing here in an organized way. Expressive writing allows for free association, a quick discharge of whatever comes to mind. Some of the following 6 writing prompts will resonate with you more than others. Feel free to spend more time on those that do, and skip those that don't, or that you don't care to answer. I will repeat each writing prompt twice, and as soon as I start reading the first writing prompt, just begin writing. Writing prompt 1. In what place might you have felt most safe as a child? Perhaps your bedroom, your grandparents' home, a friend's house, a tree or field in your backyard, or with a mentor, coach, or teacher. In what place might you have felt most safe as a child? Perhaps your bedroom, or your grandparents' home, or a friend's house, or in a tree or a field in your backyard, or with a mentor or teacher. Writing prompt number 2. What was the hardest year or period of years during your childhood or when you were a teenager? How old were you at the time? What happened during that time? Again, what was the hardest year or period of years during your childhood? How old were you then? What happened during that time? Writing prompt number 3. What happened in your family that might have made you feel emotionally left out or ignored or not important? This might include the behavior of parents or caregivers or siblings or family dynamics in general. What happened in your family that might have made you feel emotionally left out or ignored or not important? This might include the behavior of parents or caregivers or your siblings or general family dynamics. Writing prompt number 4. How or when or with whom did you feel verbally or emotionally shamed, blamed, diminished, discounted, put down, made fun of, or humiliated? Again, how or when or with whom did you feel verbally or emotionally shamed, diminished, blamed, discounted, put down, made fun of, or humiliated? Writing prompt number 5. What might have happened to you as a child or a teenager that you had difficulty articulating or talking about to your parents or grown-ups when it happened? Or perhaps have had difficulty talking about to anyone since? Again, what happened to you as a child or a teenager that you had difficulty articulating or talking about to your parents or other grown-ups when it happened? Or perhaps have even had difficulty talking about to anyone since. Writing prompt Number 6, our last writing prompt. What did you want from your mother or father that you never received? What did you want from your mother or father that you never received? Okay, so I want to pause here and reassure you that if any of that felt overwhelming for you, that's completely normal and relief is coming. We're going to do a few exercises to help you reground yourself. Before we do that, I'd like you to take a minute and notice what's happening in your body. Notice if you feel any fear or a sense of unsafety or even anger or sadness or loss. And ask yourself, where do I feel this in my body right now? You might put a hand on that place. For me, it's often my solar plexus. And if that doesn't resonate for you, another way to do this is to imagine right now, if you were to glance in a mirror, what would your face reflect back to you? If you were to glance in the mirror right this minute, what would your facial expression tell you about how you're feeling? Or you might do a very quick body scan, just note any tension that you're holding in your eyes, your jaw, your shoulders, your heart space, your solar plexus, and see if you can just invite that to let go and release. One way to do that might be to offer a very soft and gentle light around the edges of wherever you're holding that tension and see if you can let it go. Okay. Before we do the next exercise, I'm going to ask you to find your benefactors and invite them to come and sit with you as resources. So what are your benefactors? They are those individuals in your life, usually when you were pretty young or a teenager or a young adult, who were very loving and supportive to you when you were growing up. We generally know who they were because when we think back on them, we feel a sense of relief. With them, we knew we felt safe. We might have felt special, protected, or maybe we no longer felt lonely or afraid. They might have known how to comfort or console you or offered words of encouragement or let you know that they believed in you. And there may be words that you remember they're saying that you still carry with you today. They might even have stepped in to help you not just survive, but find ways to thrive in some of the most difficult times or periods of your growing up years. Or maybe you think of them as people you want to emulate their inner strengths. Here are two of my benefactors a long time ago. Obviously, my father, who died when I was 12, that's me on his lap. And my grandmother, Donna, for whom I'm named. I know they're my benefactors because I just have to think of them if you're really calm and safe. So imagine and invite a circle of your benefactors to come and sit here with you, right now. Imagine them sitting around you. It doesn't matter how many you invite. What matters, it could be 1 or 20. It's just about how you feel when you imagine being in their presence. And as you invite them in, just sort of breathe in that presence and that positive sense of safety. And if you can, just let it expand throughout your body. So right now we're going to explore a more recent time or a very recent time or moment or situation in your life today when you had big, overwhelming feelings. So I'd like you to think about a recent scenario in which you might have, upon a reflection, overreacted, or maybe you shut down and didn't say or do anything when you should have, or maybe you flipped your lid. These moments are pretty easy to recognize in retrospect because there are those moments that we keep replaying in our own minds. You probably know what I mean. We wish that we'd said something differently or behaved better or said just the right thing. Or maybe it was an interaction in which someone else said or did something that left you feeling really hurt or even betrayed or angry or upset. Sometimes our recent big overwhelming moment is a moment in which we really lashed out at ourselves and we got caught up ruminating and lashing out at ourselves with feelings of self-blame or shame, regret, self-recrimination, and caught up in those negative thought loops and that general monkey chatter in our minds. As you recall this recent scenario or a moment, I'd like you to pick up your pencil and please begin writing about how it felt for you. If it's helpful, you might add a few very brief details, where you were, what was said, who you were with, and why you felt the way you did. So we're just going to write for 45 or 60 seconds about this recent interaction or event. And as you're writing, I'd like you to also pay attention and ask yourself, is this the first time I ever felt these big emotions and overwhelming feelings? If it's not a real feeling sense for you and it's more a felt sense in the body, ask yourself, is this the first time I've ever experienced this physical tightness or this tension or this fear? As you recall this recent interaction or moment of overwhelm, you may also notice that you're experiencing fairly similar feelings to those that came up for you when you wrote about your earlier childhood experiences. That time when you had the same big feelings or felt overwhelmed or alone or afraid as a child or a teenager. For example, some of those big feelings might be, I have to be good and nice if I want to be loved, or I can't have needs, or I always have to meet other people's needs, or no one ever helps me, or I have to stay small in order to stay safe, or I always have to look out for myself, nobody else will, or even I don't matter, or I always mess things up, or no one really cares. And just keep writing about this recent moment when you felt overwhelmed, how you felt, what emotions came up for you, and what messages you were sending yourself about who you are. Okay, so let's just all take a deep breath and let that go. You might want to shake and wiggle your fingers and toes as you exhale. And now we're going to close with a grounding exercise, which connects these dots and brings it all together in a way that I hope you'll find useful. So I call this exercise the Wheel of Myself, and I'd like you to invite your past and future selves to sit with you at your table. So I'll walk you through this. If you could close your eyes, it's generally very helpful to get your imagination into gear. And now imagine that you're sitting at a round table, which is encircled in white light. And first, I'd like you to invite your benefactors to come and sit at your table. You can have as many seats at this table as you would like. And now please invite your various selves at different stages and phases of your life. Let's begin with your past selves. The young 5-year-old you, your teenager self, the young adult you, and maybe the you of 5 years ago. And now please invite in a few of your older, wiser future selves to your table. Your older, wiser self of maybe 10 years from now, or you at 85. This is your wisest, most loving, most self-realized future self. I sometimes think of all of these beings, benefactors, and the various selves, from our older, wiser selves to our inner child, as our avatars. And I'd like you to just ask all these avatars to sit with you in this circle now. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go around the circle, and you're going to ask each of your avatars to offer whatever words and messages of connection or comfort or caring that they want to impart to you. And you might imagine a circle of white light surrounds each of their faces as they offer you these messages of love and comfort and connection. Take in each of their words as if their wishes for you are traveling across a ribbon of light that ties them to you, right into your heart. And you might want to put your hand over your heart for the rest of this exercise. For instance, the 5-year-old you might ask, will you keep me safe? And you might tell her, I will keep you safe. I will always take care of you. Your teenager younger self might say something like, we went through really hard things together. You got us through, thank you. And you might respond with something like, I wish I could have let you know back then that we'd be okay. You were really brave. I love you, and I promise you I will not ever abandon you. Your older, wiser self might gently offer up a few words you feel you most need to hear. Perhaps you are safe. I will keep you safe. Or you are enough just as you are. Or you are loved. You are courageous. And you might respond with something like, thank you for helping me along my way. Thank you for guiding me and helping me find healing when I needed it. Your benefactors might say, I always saw something special in you. I believe in you. I love you. And you might offer in response, thank you for seeing me, for loving me, for making me feel safe and known. Or they might remind you of acts of kindness that you've offered others, times in your life where you stopped to help and take care of everyone around you, even when you yourself had no one to lean on or turn to. And imagine all of your avatars smiling at you as you smile at your youngest selves. And if you can, in this moment, take in and recognize your own inner worthiness, what all of your avatars are seeing in you, and marinate in this essential goodness, this truest nature that is yours, that has always been inside you and always will be. And now begin to let the ribbons of white light from all of your avatars and their healing messages just come from each of them in your circle toward you and meld gently into your heart. You might imagine this love and support as a silver gold thread that extends from all the way across the timeline of your life, from all of your past and future selves, all your moments with your benefactors, all the way to right here, right now, this minute that we're in right now. And take in again that goodness of who you are across your timeline, your courage, your fortitude, your good and worthy heart. And put both hands over your heart. You might slide one hand over your belly now. If you'd like, you could put one hand over your lips. Touching our lips helps to soothe our nervous system. And taking in this good and worthy feeling, allow this silver gold thread to become a golden energy that's flowing now into your heart from all of your avatars and through your entire body. Let it fill the entire outline of your body inside of you. And imagine this warm light extending and resonating all the way up from the top of your head, down through the soles of your feet. And if you could, begin to rock gently as you keep your hand over your heart, your finger to your lips, your eyes closed, and feel this good silver gold energy extend out from the front of your heart and from the back of your heart and to your right and to your left until it creates a golden globe all around you, a globe of safety and worthiness and healing and protection. And now let's take a deep breath in and let out a long exhale and open your eyes. The hope and invitation that I have here for all of you who've joined is to take this as a beginning to a deeper level of your own healing and recognize the power of writing to heal and neural re-narrating as a tool for patients and individuals, and to really appreciate the power of narrative medicine. As I mentioned, we do this program with healers and we do this program with individuals. And of course, I want to thank my own teachers. And if you want to stay in touch, here's how.